Are you wondering what this is all about? Come walk with me and I'll explain it later. Wow. You're serious. So I'm heading back to Auckland this morning after staying at Talapai, I think it was. And because tomorrow is my flight to Great Barrier. And I saw this coming in, a memorial park. And so I thought I would stop here this morning on the way out and have my breakfast. And there's a walk. Thought I'd go for a little walk, stretch out my legs. Listen. That tree. This is the Kauri tree, otherwise known as Tane Mahuta by the natives. Look at that. It's humongous. Wow. It grows over 50 meters or 164 feet tall with trunk girths up to 16 meters or 64 feet around. And they can live for about 2,000 years. Look at me, hiking in the bush of New Zealand. And they are in danger. New Zealand has many endemic species of birds that are found in no other country. As an island archipelago, New Zealand accumulated bird diversity over its history. It's amazing. One thing about coming out in nature, especially out alone like this, is you realize that there's so much life that goes on, completely independent, not so independent, really, sometimes, of humans. We do affect what goes on here, as proof being what I had to go through to get in here, you know, cleaning my shoes off and everything. That even if we're thousands of miles away, we do impact this, and yet I don't need to be here for this to go on every day. It's alive. A whole world. It's kind of cool. I'm explaining that really poorly. When Captain Cook arrived in the 1770s, he noted that the bird song was deafening. It's not quite deafening here. It's beautiful. Well, that was too short. It says 15 minutes. I think it took me like half of that, even with taking pictures and stopping to pause and listen. We're going to see this routine throughout my hikes in New Zealand. This is to prevent Kauri dieback disease. This is awesome. So it's a disease caused by microscopic fungus-like organisms that live in the soil and infects the roots of the Kauri trees. I don't know if you can see that, but disinfectant actually sprays up on the bottom of your shoes, damaging the tissue that carries nutrients and water within the tree, basically starving the tree to death. And it's become endemic over the islands, and so this is an attempt to make sure we get all the soil that carries the fungus from forest to forest and from tree to tree off of our shoes so that we don't spread it. You know, yesterday I was thinking as I was traveling around that I was kind of lamenting all the rules here, that, you know, I can't just like boondock anywhere, that I had to reserve huts for my backpacking or tramping trip, and that, you know, I wanted to go on a hike, a little walk on one of the pull-offs I went to, but the track was closed for conservation. And, you know, I was kind of lamenting the rules. And last night I sat down in my camp and I'm writing about it. And I was thinking that as an American, we value freedom so much, right? And I think that's a lot of what's going on in the country right now, is the balance between freedoms and conservation and helping make the world and the society and the culture a good place for everybody to thrive. And So I started thinking about that, you know, in places like this, and it reminds me a little bit of California. I joke now that every time I go into California, I notice all the rules and all the laws. But, you know, the reason these rules and laws are in place is because they are proud of their country and they want to preserve it. That if they didn't have all these rules, if they allowed the, you know, backpacking like we do in the US, or tramping all over the place, or going on this hike without spraying off my shoes, no big deal, right? So I had, something just fell up there. So I had to spray off my shoes. But if they didn't do all of this, if we didn't have conservation, this wouldn't be here for future generations. This wouldn't be here maybe even in our generation. So there's a balance between personal freedom and preservation and conservation. And so when I started writing about that last night and really thinking about it, in terms of being an American and how much we value our freedoms, almost to the detriment of our future and our health, both physically, mentally, psychologically, and the future health of our earth and our country, then it starts to be a problem. So I'm willing to give up some freedoms, and I think that's what we see in California, is that some people are willing to give up certain freedoms in order to think about the greater good being not only the current generation and the current neighbors, societies, brothers, sisters, children, but future generations as well. And that's exactly what New Zealand has done. New Zealanders are so proud of their country. That is very clear from the few conversations I've already had with New Zealanders or Kiwis. They are very proud of their country. They love their country, and it shows in the fact that they are willing to give up some personal freedom in order to preserve the beauty that is New Zealand. This is not a very big country. It's a couple islands, and they really go all out to make sure that it stays natural. It stays in its natural state, and it's preserved for future generations. You know, it's natural. What's the word I'm looking for? In all its natural beauty, all its natural original beauty. So I don't know. These are kind of the things I get to think about when I travel alone. I don't have somebody with me, you know, kind of distracting me with conversation. Not that some of this stuff wouldn't come up in conversation. Actually, for my friend Christy, it probably would. But yeah, so the next time I go back to California and I lament the laws and rules, I'm going to remember being in New Zealand. I think it's easy to forget when we're in it every single day and we're in a society like we're in America, and it can feel burdensome, I guess is the word, but it can feel like a burden. Too many laws, too many rules, you're taking away my rights, I can't do this, I can't do that. And the fact is that all of those laws are in place for a greater good, and that maybe if we all stop thinking me, myself included, and think about the greater good, not only for our fellow citizens, but for future generations, then maybe some of those laws would be, and some of those sacrifices in our own personal freedom might be worth it in the long run. That's what I'm thinking about today as I'm hiking the bush in New Zealand. a whole day to explore on my way back to Auckland for my flight tomorrow. I'll just get a hotel near the airport tonight. And so, driving through these small little towns. I think this looks interesting. I might stop for some lunch. Walk around, stretch my legs. This is cool. A dump station right at a city park. Looks like a good place to park and walk around. First, I must use the fancy bathrooms with flashing lights and everything.
Door closed. Ah! Please press button to lock.
Oh my god, that scared me.
Door locked. Your maximum use time is 10 minutes. Press button to unlock door.
Fancy. Public restrooms, look how clean. And free, unlike in Europe where you have to pay for them. Yes. What a pleasant experience. Mood, music, and everything. Check this out. Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Door is unlocked. Thank you for using Excellent.
Thank you, they say. Thank you. Bye. Nice spot for a stop. I just pulled over here because I had to use that fancy bathroom, and found a store that said Whole Foods store. Of course, not our Whole Foods. It was just Whole Foods, real food. And I found sparkling coconut water here, which is delicious, but it's very sweet. I'm not gonna be able to drink the whole thing. And this, look how pretty. And yeah, I'm getting sunburned. I brought my hiking shirt, which is SPF rated and proven everything, but it's hot, and I want to get a suntan. I brought all my hiking gear to wear on the trail so I don't get sunburned. I'm surprised how burned I am just from the little walks that I'm doing and driving and stuff. So, not hiking. When I hike, I wear my sunproof stuff so I don't get burned. Anyway, beautiful. Where am I? Weston Singson? I'll let you know. Just like Europe, you can't walk into a cafe without having to say no to millions of amazing looking, sweet, delicate pastries. They look so good. But I will say no. I asked for a nice coffee and I got this. I thought they were just going to put a little soy milk on top. I got a frappe. And it's really sweet, but it's actually very delicious. Very good. This is a cute little town. I've enjoyed walking around, seeing the different shops, and getting some sunscreen. I think I'm going to get back on the road here, though.
Today, Global Peace and Justice Aotearoa wants soldiers pulled out and the Waihopai spy base shut down. Spokesperson Mike Treen says we should follow the Iraqi government's recommendation and get troops in.
With Bruce Springsteen, a deeper cut from Tunnel of Love coming up. But now from Born in the USA, it's Cover Me. As this three-play starts on the sound.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as we explored the northern island of New Zealand a little bit. Stay tuned, there is a lot more New Zealand to come, including a fun plane ride. And if you want outtakes and you want some extra footage that don't always make it into my videos, be sure to check out Patreon, where just by joining you get a ton of extra stuff. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. Mwah! I've got the whole story for you of what happened. Okay. Okay. And number 5 on the list of things that every full-time RVer need. Okay. And number 5 on the list is a tire gauge. That's right. You absolutely. Okay. And number 5, a better way to go. It's it'll lift something up. I think it said. Okay. Start over. Start over. That's shit.